Yeah, and pretty much one-way traffic as well there too. It'll be looking at that, although it may not turn out to be that way. Gavin Beltmire got the best of the starts, but that 3 seconds advantage in qualifying is absolutely huge, and that was for Hayden Fitzgerald. Comes to Manfield here today after the first 2 races at Hampton Downs last weekend, and becomes here as the series points leader. 43 points, Gavin Beltmire. Gavin Beltmire just a 1 point behind on 42 points. And he's running out there in second place right now. Lloyd Walker-Holt on 42, so that's easy to follow, isn't it? Dean Bentley on 40, Joel Dexter 36, and Hugh Tran on 30. So points-wise, very close, but in terms of lap times, distant. Hayden Fitzgerald, the pole setter, race leader, and now a lead of about 100 metres or so. The big difference is Roy Walker-Holt and Dean Bentley having their own private little battle coming out of the hairpin, but Gavin Beltmire it is that sits in second place, about to be challenged by the other 2 behind him, by Bentley and Walker-Holt. And in the meantime, if Hayden Fitzgerald glasses behind him, you'll see coming out of Higgins that is about 100 metres expanding the lead that he has. 8 litres, what am I talking about? 8 laps for the Formula 3 bikes.
I think the man to watch this season will be Roy Walker-Holt. He's certainly come in leaps and bounds during the winter series, and he's proved in past Dean Bentley on the Stokes Valley Collision Repairs SV650 Pro Twin. I think Roy Walker-Holt's bike is actually a Formula 3 bike rather than a Pro Twin bike, but he's now starting to reel in Gavin Beltmire on the number 2 bike. Where's the number 2? Because he was second in the New Zealand Championships. Hamish Murphy won it this year. Hamish Murphy has decided not to race this year. He was up against funding issues last year and decided to press with it. So he's sort of having a gap year, I think, at least a gap year. And so Roy Walker-Holt sitting there in 3rd place is starting to make a move on. He's not actually as quick as Gavin Beltmire, but it seems to be closing up the gap. We've got 150, maybe 200 metres. The bike number 52 out in the front on the Ross Graham Racing sponsored SV650 Suzuki, 4 Suzukis in the first 4, and then we go to Gavin Mackay, bike number 9, which is described as a Caprillion. I think this is the Aprilia engine. Sarah Elliott back out after a bit of a quiet season this year, broke her collar early on in the Vic Winter Series, and she's sitting there in 6th place. Hugh Trenlome there on the little RS125 in 7th, followed by Nigel Lennox on the SV650 Suzuki. His Yamaha blew up through a rod or something the other day, so he had to get this bike sorted. Dave Smith, Roman Radjic on the Wolfpack Racing RS125, followed by Gavin Oxley, Craig Sargent, and at the back of the field, right at the back of the end, is Bob Grover on number 44, so looking out for the lead bikes. We'll do another lap, 8 lap races here. We've received 3 as they cross the line, and it is Hayden Fitzgerald. It is spreading out. Gavin Beltmire still in second spot, but a long way back to Roy Walker-Holt, and then we go to Dean Bentley on the number 3 machine. He's not treating the SuzukiSeries too seriously. He's out there to get the warm-up levels and all that, his energy levels and the bike set up, so he's going to try and get that New Zealand number 1 plate in the Nationals where they start at Ruapuna on about the 5th and 6th of January, and then go down to Timaru the weekend later. Then they go north to Taupo and followed by Manfield. So just 4 rounds of the New Zealand Championships this year, and after the SuzukiSeries. Good plenty of fields too, looking like this for the Nationals as well, and all sorts of classes.
They should be good fields as well there too, as long as the organisation's up to scratch, Spider, and we get a bit of publicity. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think they're sort of getting
better. Does anyone talk to radio sport?
Does anyone with a volunteer? It's always tough. They've got their own day jobs to do, but yeah.
Exactly. Righto. The interesting thing too, we're just talking to Ross Graham bike. For those of you who like a little bit of a walk down memory lane occasion, there's a magnificently prepared G50 Maxler sitting in the Hayden Fitzgerald pit as well there too. Hayden will be riding that at Wanganui unboxing as a classic bike. There, and of course also a Manx Norton has been made available to Guy Martin to ride. So apart from the Suzuki New Zealand Superbike that's being prepared for him, there will be he will also get the ride on the Manx Norton for something.
David Hall should be a threat there too. David Hall will be riding classics as well.
Yes, he will be too. Yes. He does well. I'm not too sure at Wanganui, where certainly at Hampton Downs I've seen him perform well in the past.
Oh no, he's very experienced. Probably more experienced on the classic bikes than the bikes. So that's David Hall.
Well, a lot of guys are. A lot of guys have come from that background. Nick Cole is a classic example of someone who's come right through the background of classic racing.
Yep. We'll Lunch being delivered. Thank you very much, Julie Willis.
Lovely.
Part of the
Thank you,
70
Julie.
Circuit organising committee. Appreciate that. Cold water and a couple of buns, and it's all good. Let's look back out on the track. Hayden Fitzgerald, quickest lap, is 1.6 seconds quicker in the second place. He's running in a 1:14.171 with Kevin Viltmore in the 1:15.7s. We go to the 1:17s. 1:17.5 is Dean Bentley. That's the top.
The interesting thing with Hayden at the moment, though, he's actually running 2 seconds slower than his fastest qualifying time.
Doesn't need to do any quicker, does he really?
And it doesn't need to do any quicker at all. That's the important thing.
He's starting to come across lappers now. Really, starting to come across lappers onto the front straight. Looks to me like Hayden Fitzgerald going through there nice and quick. No, it's not a lapper, sorry, it's a 1:25 versus the 5:50 Captain McCoy and Hugh Tremblay. We're looking out the centre straight where there's Hayden Fitzgerald, got a country mile lead down there, and there's probably another 400 metres before he comes across a lapper. It wouldn't be any problem with him at all. He should know how much the lead he's got. Indeed, he's got about a lead of 6.808 seconds. Fastest man on the track with a 1:14.5. Just under 1:14.437. 8-lap race, 5 laps down.
The interesting thing too, I see the field of 16 for that first round at Hampton Downs, 18 out there today. In fact, actually, as it turns out, there's only 13 out there today. Yes, he is. So there's only 13 out there today, and 18 have listed for Wanganui. Interesting, some top riders. We see Lee Tidman, for example, out of Tauranui, racing at Wanganui only. Not here today. Tyler Lincoln, the young fella there, is also Wanganui only. So too Bill James on Wednesday 5:50. Lives in Wanganui. It's handy for him. And as he said, he gets to sleep in his own bed that night. But there are no other big changes there at all. But so a little bit of a mix and match as far as some that aren't rating at Wanganui that are here today as well there too. But I'm probably a little bit disappointed with the size of the field. 18, I suppose, Formula 3. It's a pity that there could have been a few more, but they're certainly now we're down to 13. And I just wonder where we've lost some of those that we would would have expected to see out there.
Lee Tidman, I would expect to be very, very quick on the RX1.
Oh yes,
I
wonder why Wanganui are not Mansfield to be, and Tauranui sort of. Well, it's close for both of them, isn't it? For Manfield and for Hampton.
Bike's a bit temperamental, so maybe he's decided to spend a bit of time. Hello, we've got someone there coming out of the hairpin, runs wide, sideways, gets thrown back onto the track. They're up. The important thing of that was one of the little 125s. Yeah. Probably Hugh Tremblay. Probably he gets back up, runs back on the bike and pushes it off the thing. He went along probably about 60 metres in the grass and then flicked it full 90 degrees sideways, high-sided off the thing. The important thing is the upping is about, and he's got right off the track, and hopefully there's no debris there, and hopefully between races the flag marshals can check it. White flags out. We've got country mile with stuff ahead as he goes into the hairpin for the last lap. We're looking right out there to number 2 as they go into the right-hander, the left-hander, sorry, through the S is passing through flat line. So that's it's over his shoulder. Mustn't have had pit board out there. You don't see a pit board out there. It looks over his shoulder. He realises he's got quite some distance over above second place. As we can see a bike go wide at Higgins and just cruising almost to a halt. Get off the track. That's the plan. They're off the track, I think, and a bike there parking up in the process of it at the moment. So Hayden Fitzgerald under the white flag.
Tyre walls are marvellous, aren't they? They give a rider a very, very good view when he's decided to come off. Go to the tyre wall and stand up. There we are. You can see him shadowed, silhouetted against the Higgins sign on the roof of the Manawatu Car Club over there. Higgins, of course, they built Manfield all those many, many years ago. And Sir Patrick Higgins now he's been knighted as a man behind the Higgins contracting company. So it is the white flag, checkered flag, and good ride for, and I've been impressed with Hayden Fitzgerald as well there too. Just a young guy.